the average person now, if we're going to say trauma a lot in this show, the average person is probably going to go, trauma, I haven't been to war.
So I've come to realise, if we segue for a moment, I've come to realise trauma comes in, we've got big T trauma. I've been to war, I've been through a horrific car accident. I was caught in a house fire, a bushfire. Big T trauma. And we all get that, I've been abused physically, sexually, otherwise. But actually the most damaging trauma is little T trauma.
Really?
Relational trauma. The people who were supposed to protect us the most, our parents, not doing that well. And I didn't really, I knew I grew up in a somewhat dysfunctional family. That early part of COVID, and I came to realise...
Isn't that like normal dysfunctional or really dysfunctional?
Well, I just thought it was normal, moderate dysfunction, But, I'd understood for a number of years that my father was actually a pedophile.
Wow.
He hadn't abused me that I was aware of. So I didn't think I was suffering from in that, but I knew he was. So that's obviously some significant dysfunction there.
Yeah.
But I still thought my family was reasonably normal, a common level of dysfunction. And I came to realise it really was not, and that I was suffering a great deal more. And so that relational trauma, the people who are supposed to love us the most, who are supposed to protect us and care for us and nurture us, in my case, hadn't done that job. And in the work we do now, we've realised so many people. It's like that.
In the learning that I have obtained previously, especially through fathering adventures, I've understood the statistic that an overwhelming majority, if not all, nearly most parents or people have some kind of parenting wound. It's almost unavoidable.
Yes.
And it's not because we're fragile snowflakes and hypersensitive.
No.
It's actually because we're children of imperfect people.
Yeah, and we live in a fallen
We're
world.
human.
Yeah.
God made us very vulnerable, especially when we're young. We're very vulnerable, and that's when we get injured the most. So when we're most dependent on people to protect us and love us and provide our needs, and when that doesn't happen, that creates the wrong software running our lives. So.
Tania sometimes says, unless you were raised by Jesus, you've probably got trauma. And I like to chip in. And if you were raised by Jesus, you would have had an absent father who got brutally murdered by the Romans. So you would have trauma anyway.